Hey there, welcome back, this time from my office. A while ago I made a video called Liquid Movement Seminar, which got a lot of views. And when I went through my videos, I saw that in general I tend to speak really slowly about specific movements. And the thing is, you can explain something very quick and easy, but what I want people is to, first of all, do the movements with me. And the second thing is also to pay attention to small differences. And for me, the small differences, for example, they can be how does something feel when you move in a certain way? Maybe what experience are being created. For example, I'm a person with synesthesia, so for me, if I do specific movements, I see colors, textures, I immediately have sounds in my head. So all of these things happen and they really give you a different quality in your movement. So those small things really are important. You can just repeat or copy someone's movement, but if you don't understand why you do the things, what effect does it have, how you can do different variations, all those things, and what again this has an effect, then it's really not a point in just repeating someone's movement. And that's why they're kind of sometimes lengthy and maybe I mumble around a little bit because it's also not so easy to explain those things to someone on the other side of the screen. It's much easier obviously in person. That's why I love my workshops and the retreats that I offer, because I really can look at someone when they move and I can give feedback, I can ask them questions and help them to come to their own conclusions, help them to basically become autonomous over their own bodies and experiences. But for the purpose of the video, I put together 8 elements that I find really important to establish a liquid type of movement. So something that feels effortless, something that is this flowy, easy looking movement. But there's a lot of things behind. Let's just start off with the first element, which is softness. And it's very interesting because softness is something that is used a lot, especially now. There's kind of a return to the idea of softness. Also, for example, thinking about aesthetics for women, softness is suddenly something that is more appreciated. I'm based in Germany, and here softness was always culturally equal or associated with weakness. So it's interesting how softness is becoming hip again. If you think about those kung fu masters and so on who want to be like water, softness suddenly has a new reputation. And if I talk about softness, one of the things I mean is to relax the muscles. There's a beautiful thing about relaxing the muscles. First of all, obviously, it makes you feel relaxed. And the second is it facilitates movement. So, for example, if I straighten my arm and use my muscles to lock my arm, there is no movement happening and it doesn't look liquidy. It doesn't look flowy and it is not functional for me because it's already basically in use. And therefore, I cannot do anything with it. Now, if I relax my muscles, suddenly there's a lot of space for movement. And this is kind of what I mean. So, softness, referring back to relaxing the muscles. And now this kind of leads to my second point, which is body control. So for me, body control really means that you have the control over which muscles to use and which not to use. So for example, if I do a certain movement, I can use all my muscles and I can just engage everything, and then it not only becomes harder, but also it looks more stiff and it looks more strenuous. It doesn't look effortlessly. If I move a lot, and this is why my videos usually have become really lengthy if I explain movement, is because you really need to practice and you really need to get to know your body. So it's really about knowing your muscles, which ones to use and which ones not to use. And it sounds easy, But for a lot of people, they are surprised when they do something and I tell them now, okay, let go of this, let go of this. They can still do the same movement. They have been all the time engaging muscles that they don't need to engage. And as I said, as soon as you engage something, especially when it's not functional, you lose movability. You lose the opportunity to use this muscle in a different way when you need it. Coming to my third point, which is shifting weight, is something I keep emphasizing over and over with a lot of people, especially because no one in their daily lives uses this, and it's such an easy tool. So the thing what you do is just you shift your weight from one side to the other, and for example, if you stand and you shift your weight over to one leg, obviously the other leg has less weight, and suddenly you can move it. Again, it sounds really, really easy, but no one does this. For example, if you look at someone doing like a yoga flow and they step the foot back, usually it's out of strength and it looks, again, very stiff, very strenuous. But if you shift your weight and then step your foot back, you free your leg and you can let go of your muscles, you can relax more, and everything becomes flowy. So it's really this like leaning over, stepping back. It's very simple, like a really simple point. I think all of the points I'm saying right now, they're really simple, but it is like a really essential thing that no one does. And once you start to do this, you can apply it to everything. Like, for example, in your daily life, if you open a door, if you lift something, if you move something, if you walk somewhere, if you sit down, whatever it is, shifting your weight into one foot, the other foot, or like shifting over to grab something and just pulling it back instead of doing this with your hand, really makes a big, big difference. Now the next point is functionality. Okay, for me, functionality is, for example, if I look at someone who moves and they move in a way where they put their arms and legs somewhere without there being a purpose, this is when it stops to look effortlessly and flowy. Basically, for example, if I move my arm over to the side and I find a beautiful stretch here, there's a function, and this really looks in harmony. It looks less tense, it looks less pretentious. There's no like theater, play, whatever behind, but there is a purpose for me to do this. For example, also, as I said before, if I shift my weight to step back my foot, there is a function behind the movement that I'm doing, and everything just completely is in harmony. There's less dissonance. For me, this point is really, really important, especially, I know, for example, if you move somewhere, walk your hands somewhere, and they're there to support your movement, just immediately it looks like you have your flow state. It looks in flow. The next point is balance point. I touched on this a little bit before, but it's really something that you have to practice, and it helps you a lot to be more soft, to use less tension in your body, less muscle strength, and to move in a way, again, that looks more effortless, more flowy. This is when you know where is your center of gravity, where is your, you can think about like a pole going all the way through you that you move around in. So this is your balance point. And it's interesting, but the more you move around your balance point, the more you know where it is. And from there, it is beautiful because you have more body control. You can be like all the things that I said before. More relaxed, more soft, more flowy. Now the next point is using gravity and momentum. So one of the things you can do to do movements more effortlessly is to use what is around you, so physics. And this helps you to use less energy and to be more soft. And this is where, again, your movement looks effortlessly flowy and beautiful. So if, for example, you move over to a side, you can use gravity to pull your shoulder over without you having to move it. Or, for example, if you move one direction, you will go back anyways, the other direction, as soon as you soften. So this is where gravity pulls you, where momentum comes in, and yeah, it just makes life easier. And it is nice once you know this. Again, it comes back to body control. Where's your point of gravity, the idea of softness, and there you have momentum and gravity. The next point is something that usually I will mention in the beginning, and this is breathing. But I wanted to put it now a little bit more towards the end of the video, because for me the other things are really, really important and things that are really overlooked often. So breathing, using your breath, again, is something that helps you to be more soft and gives you energy. So for example, if you look at me and if I stay soft and I breathe, movement happens. If I'm stiff and I breathe, almost nothing moves. It's really something then where you cannot use your breath. But if you stay soft and you breathe, you move. And you can use this, for example, to initiate movement. If I inhale, something lifts up, and I can use that for my movement. So if I inhale, my arm goes up, and exhale, it goes back down. This is one of the elements that make everything more soft, more flowy, more effortless. And the last point that I find very important is that you stay safe in your movements. Everyone has different starting points with their movement. Some people have injuries or illnesses or fears or whatever it is. And once you start to go into the fear, into the pain, into whatever it is, you tense up. You won't enjoy it, and it will not look effortlessly and flowy. Also next to the point that you can injure yourself and that it's not a nice experience and not good for you. But talking about the idea of liquid movement. So one of the most important things for you is to really pay attention to how does your body feel, what are you able to do, and then walk around where your spaces are that you are able to do. Usually what happens is the more you move, the more you are going to be able to do. So for me, for example, I used to not be able to bend my knees more than 90 degrees because they were inflamed and really painful. But the more I moved in harmony with my body, paying attention to the signals of my body and moving basically around it, it's something also that you can get from like Tai Chi, the idea of moving around the dragon, moving around whatever there is that hinders you, that creates, I don't know, some type of tension, let's say. If you move around, you will widen your ability. But in general, if you stay safe, you are able to be more soft, so meaning more relaxed, and your movement will look more in harmony with yourself. So everything will look more flowy, again, more liquidy, and in general, you will just enjoy it much more. You will be much, much safer.